I challenged myself to learn After Effects and motion graphics as fast as possible in under a month. Let's see how it went.
Why start this journey in the first place?
Well, it's simple. The art of content creation in visual media is at an all-time high. Motion graphics is in every professional-looking video you see. It brings our imagination to light and helps us visualize stories. Amazing graphics aren't just for big studios anymore. They're for any and everyone that has a creative urge to see what's possible.
And knowing the software that can help you do that is imperative.
This was only my second time opening After Effects, but if you know Premiere, they have something called keyframes. This is pretty much the basis for motion in After Effects.
So with that being said, I kind of wanted to start with something simple and go in blind. And this meant learning on my own. This meant taking everything I knew from Illustrator and Premiere to create something that was passable as an animation or motion graphic. After scouring the internet for inspiration, I landed on the idea of 8-bit. It was simple enough that I knew I could do it, but it wasn't too easy to the point where I couldn't flex my creative muscle and really make a world from my own imagination. So with that being said, I went online to look for tutorials and references to get that creative 8-bit vibe. To my surprise, there actually weren't that many tutorials about rendering your own assets into After Effects. But I did stumble upon a really great creator called Sleepy Ghost. They didn't have any tutorials, but as you can see, they did create some amazing 8-bit effects, and that was my motivation going into this first animation. And with this one, I just started creating assets in Illustrator and actually putting them in Premiere. And I had an idea of the scene I wanted to set, kind of like a video game intro, very retro, but with a modern digital touch, you could say. After creating a couple more assets to really give off that digital vibe, I ended up deciding we're going to play the game of life. And I knew with this particular animation, the sound was going to be a really important thing, so I made sure not to skip out on that. After some masking, adding shapes, simple effects, and some sound design, we have this.
Oh, that's hot.
Okay, not bad, but now it's time to do some real After Effects tutorials. And what other place to go than YouTube University?
I probably should have mentioned this by now, but we're doing this whole entire thing for free, and YouTube is by far the best place to go when you're trying to learn something on a budget. And as I expected, this is where the real work began.
Discovering YouTube's vast community of After Effects creators felt like stepping into a world of endless inspiration. Each tutorial offered unique techniques and insights, transforming After Effects into a creative playground. With a variety of quality content available, I could target specific skills I wanted to learn, like text animations and transitions. This made the learning process both super engaging and efficient, giving me more time to make tweaks and really learn how it actually all works. Watching these creators not only teaches me new methods, but also motivates me to elevate my own videos. Their abilities to bring ideas to life pushes me to create more polished, dynamic content that stands out.
And stand out it did. After about my third tutorial, I started to really get a good feel for After Effects and how to create certain effects and transitions. Obviously, this boosted my workflow and let me add a little bit more sauce.
I got used to the workflow of making something in Illustrator and then transferring that to Photoshop and then transferring that to After Effects. Eventually, I just felt comfortable enough to make my own assets in After Effects itself.
And this was kind of a milestone for me. I started really making things I was proud of.
Oh my God! Wow!
At a certain point, I was just focused on adding my own creative touch, not just copying effects. And this was the result. This wasn't without my fair share of running into problems, but with anything you're learning, the more you do it, the more you're going to understand it, and the more problems you'll be able to fix on your own.
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice.
I want to try something else, infographics. I've always been drawn to Vox for how they combine info and design to make topics easier to follow. I wanted to challenge myself to do the same. Seeing creators like Johnny Harris use motion graphics to elevate their storytelling made me want to have that for myself. So I started with a small, simple map of my state, and it actually turned out pretty solid. That success pushed me to go bigger, experimenting with a full new style segment because, let's face it, there's plenty going on in the world right now. This was different from the rest because it made me make something not only cool, but also readable and keep in mind my viewer and how are they going to receive this information. Then I ran into a problem that YouTube couldn't fix. I wanted to start creating effects with real footage, and the moment I started doing that was the moment my MacBook did not want to work. This was really stressful for me just because it took a lot of time just to see a couple of renders, and after many hours, this is the best I could get. Yeah. And this is where I kind of felt at a loss, like I couldn't really do much at this point. And I remember how far I've come in my filmmaking process, and how there's always a way to get something done. I think I might have to take a new direction. I know I said I was going to do this whole thing for free, but we might have to take an online course for this.
So it was time to take things to the next level. Everything I wanted to know was on the other end of a paywall. Why would I let something like that stop me from honing my craft?
So I decided to join the School of Motion, one of the best places you can go to learn anything about After Effects, Illustrator, even Blender. They knew everything, and I wanted it all. This was my chance to reach the
Emotional, damn it!
That's a lot of money. So I got a PC. And I know what you're thinking, isn't it technically less money to buy the course and not get a PC that's roughly over $1,200? Yes, it is. But the way I looked at it was I could invest into this amazing course that could definitely up my skills for sure, but also with the trouble I was having in Premiere as far as speed and all that stuff, if I did sign up for this class, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do all the things that were assigned to me just because of my MacBook speed. With a little more research, I did realize that, you can do things to optimize your speed, like enabling proxies on your footage, deleting your caches regularly. So yeah, not only can I do really fast video editing as well as After Effects, I want to get into 3D rendering, I can do that. I can also play some video games, as well as be in a space that I really enjoy. I still need a docking station to insert my SD cards into, so no video editing quite yet, but we're getting there. Follow me on this journey. I hope you guys like the video and tune in for the next one.